Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sports Extra. This is a Tuesday session instead of Friday, mostly because it's playoff time on the girls' scene, anyway.
Oh, yeah, it is. You can just tell that everybody's getting ready. They have to bring that game to the next level because this time it's do or die, and you're done.
Mostly girls, but there were a few boys' games on tonight. And of course, we're going to start the show with one over at Mankato West. Let's have a look. The Mankato West boys closed out, in fact, their home schedule tonight when they hosted Faribault. This was a wild game. Scarlets were hoping to snap a 3-game losing streak on senior night. You know what? They won an overtime game against this team on the road. Let's see how they did at home. They were down by 5. Here comes Span on the break, and he scores. He had 11 tonight after the steal, but what goes around comes around. This time the Falcons steal the ball. They've got a kid. Look at this guy, MG. He had 38 points tonight. Michael MG had 40 last time out. Timeout for Mankato West. Time back in. They're down by 8, but boy, they make a run and they come right back into it. First, it's Alex Knutson hitting the jumper. Then Knutson, nice bounce pass to Dan Wills. He had 19 points tonight to lead the Scarlets. Then some nice passing here. Knutson underneath the big guy. J.B. Schlichty, his best night of the year. 11 points for him. Unfortunately, in overtime, it was the Falcons coming away with the 66-59 win over the Scarlets tonight. Okay, the Mankato East girls basketball team earned a home game in the Section 2 3A tournament as the number 4 seed. That let the Cougars host Wilmer in the opening round. At least they were supposed to host Wilmer tonight, but slippery roads around the Wilmer area, and the bus driver says, I'm turning back. We'll have to go another day. So they'll play this game tomorrow night at Mankato East at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, East against Wilmer. Meanwhile, Mankato West losing on the road to Worthington, 55-50, the final on that one. And Marshall did win this game over New Ulm. I know that we've got a final in that one somewhere. We'll get that for you before we're done, but Marshall was a victor over New Ulm tonight in that one.
Yeah, I tell you what, Bear, those roads, they were terrible out there. And I know because I drove down to Martin Luther. The 2A subsection tournament started last week with Mankato Loyola losing at Medelia. With the win, the Blackhawks won the right to take on the top team in the South subsection from Martin Luther in Northrop tonight. Tell you what, Knights know how to work the ball around to get the open shot as Katie Sherman hits the 3. More outside shooting from Martin Luther, this time courtesy of Stephanie Senny, who finishes with 19 points, 3 of them right there. Allie Bramer also recorded 19 points for the Knights, this time hitting from the line. Martin Luther definitely had it in control in the first half of this game. The Blackhawks, though, would get 2 back when Larissa Young steals it and goes all the way for the lay-in, but the damage was already done as Martin Luther wins big, 68-18. Martin Luther will host the winner of the game in Truman, where the Blue Jays hosted St. Clair. This one tied 23 all at halftime, but Chelsea Scholl puts the Cyclones ahead early in the second half with the driving layup. Then Ashley Goebel will dial up from long distance, hitting for 3. St. Clair up 5 at that point. Truman, though, battling back. Becca Hins goes all the way in for 2 of her team-high 16. Later, it would be Hins feeding Shelby Wiederhoff, who gets the home court bounce. Watch this one as it bounces around, drops in, puts the Jays ahead, and they hang on for a close victory, 49-45.
Okay, let's head over to the north. It's La Center Wildcats at the Nicollet Raiders. Fans getting into this one, no question about it. Great ball movement by the Raiders here, getting it to streaking Taylor Raymond for the bucket. She led all scores with 12 points on the night. A little bit later on to Anna Screen from the top of the key for 3. Down it goes for the Raiders. Wildcats, though, putting up a fight off the inbounds to Taylor Murray, using the glass and one. A 3-point play for Murray, but too much Raiders off the miss. Offensive board, no good, but Whitney Wills willing her way for the offensive rebound and the putback. Down it goes. Raiders advance to the next round, 48-35 over the Wildcats tonight.
Well, it looks like some of those brackets are starting to take some shape, and a lot of the top seeds advancing on, and not much for the upsets yet.
Not yet, and of course this is the pressure time of the season because you have to win now to advance. We've got more playoff basketball too when we come back, so stay with us.
Sports Extra, brought to you by Minnesota State University Mankato. Big ideas, real world thinking, and Wells Federal Bank, serving you from 10 locations in southern Minnesota.
Welcome back. Well, Jackson County Central vowed to go without shaving their legs until they lost. We're talking about the girls basketball team, that was. While the Razors were finally used, the Huskies are still 9th in the state 2A poll and the top seed in the South subsection 3 AA tournament, taking on Martin County West in the second round down in Windham this evening. There's another person who had to drive a long ways in the poor ice there, and that was Brittany Larson. Good job, Brittany. Alyssa Taylor did Maggie Prunty there for the layup, but the Huskies' Whitney Burmeister, former Prep Athlete of the Week, answers taking down the length of the court for the layup and the foul. 3-point play for JCC. Later, it's the Mavs. This is Maggie Prunty again, using the glass to put one down, but it would all be in a losing effort. The steal by Taryn Tumbleson, who goes the distance for the lay-in, and the Huskies advance with the big win there, 53-37 over Martin County West. Staying in Windham, Jackson County Central will take on the winner of the Fairmont Pipestone game. That was the late game between down in Windham. Shannon Christensen banks it off the board for a 2-0 early Fairmont lead. Then Christensen again in the right place at the right time, make it 4-0 in favor of the Cardinals. Later, Kayla Lardy will get the bucket and put the Cardinals up 10. That's a nice start, 10-0 in favor of Fairmont. Pipestone would finally get on the board. Amanda Hoppert will get the jump shot to go, but in the end, the Cardinals will hold strong and go on for the win, 60-45. So an upset.
Yeah, nice win for the Cardinals. Yeah, no kidding. St. Peter claimed the 2AA section title last year. That was to get to the state tournament. That put the Saints in the polls, and they've stayed there all year long, sitting 10th and holding the top seed in this year's 2AA North subsection to take on Sibley East tonight. Let's see if they can keep it going. Pick it up at the start of the game with a block by the Saints, Alyssa Kirchhoff. She pushes it up the floor eventually, landing in the hands of Katie Kuiper for the lay-in. She had 10 on the night. Crisp passing from the Wolverines, and they'll get the ball to Kelsey Sunvold down low, and she won't miss from that position on the floor. But that hot hand belonged to the Saints. Alyssa Kirchhoff tonight knocking down the three-pointer right here, and then later on, it's Kirchhoff again driving hard for the layup. 17 points on the night for Kirchhoff, leading all scores, and she leads the Saints to a victory over the Wolverines tonight. 64-37, St. Peter moving on, as does Kenyon Wanabingo over Belle Plaine, 55-46. Meanwhile, another 2AA North action. It was LeSueur Henderson losing to the two seeds from Lake Crystal Welcome Memorial, 57-50. Knights win that one, and Jordan over Waterville Legion Morristown, 71-57. Here's a look at a few other scores tonight. Welcome back. Kevin Love has put together a historic run of double-doubles. We all know that. The Timberwolves forward had 46 coming into tonight's game with the Lakers, the last team to hold Love without double digits in at least two statistical categories. We'll say that a few times. Here's Mr. Love warming up before the game. Would he get it done tonight? Let's take a look at some of the action early on. Here's Love. Getting a shot to go, and guess what? 13 points and 11 rebounds for Love tonight, so he got it done, and the streak is now at 47. But here's the star of the show. A lot of folks coming to see this guy play wherever he goes. That's Kobe Bryant, sort of taken over in the third quarter. The Wolves had the lead, though, because you can see for a while, but it's the fourth quarter they lose it. Kobe was knocking out two more. He had 24. Wolves fall 90-79, the final.
Hey, let's head back down to Northrop for the play of the night. And even though Madelia falls to Martin Luther, it's great plays like this. Larissa Young coming up with the steal going all the way in. She gets fouled. She makes the basket. Hey, Madelia fell short, but a nice effort there.
All right. And we got that Marshall score now. Girls score Marshall over New Ulm, 67-49 the final on that one. Playoff basketball tomorrow night. The Mavericks at 7 o'clock and the Mankato East game at 7 o'clock as well. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here again on Friday. So long.